there, my name is Kelly Dale and I'm owner of Off the Beaded Path located in Forest City, North Carolina. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a bracelet, anklet, whatever you want to make that goes with the component from last week. So you're going to need quite a few Super Duo beads depending on, what you want to make. It takes 6 Super Duo beads to do one component. You're also going to need size 11 seed beads as well as a clasp. I'm going to use a size 12 beading needle and 6-pound fire line. Again, you can use 8-pound, but it gets really tight trying to work through there, so I recommend 6-pound. But go ahead and get your materials together and we'll get started. So here's what I'm going to show you how to make today. It is the components just made into a bracelet on this one. This is the black and galvanized silver sample. I have a turquoise and bronze that I really like. I love the colors on this one. And then I have an anklet made out of the neon Super Duos that I'm just infatuated with right now. So again, this one is an anklet, and you can also make it into a necklace because when you actually wear it, it curves really nice for a necklace. So you can also do that. But to get started, I'm going to thread my needle onto a yard, a fire line to start. You'll be able to make several components out of the yard. And you start out with your basic components. So you're going to pick up 6 Super Duo beads. Let these beads drop down. And leave yourself just a small tail and tie the beads into a circle. You want to go through your main circle of beads again to reinforce. And then I'm going to come up through the top hole of the Super Duo that I am exiting. So that this is what you should have. I'm going to be using my size 11 seed beads. I'm going to pick up 3. Go through the next Super Duo. Pick up 3. Just going to go around my circle, picking up my 3. And going through the top hole of the Super Duo. Once you go around, this is what you'll have. You want to continue on through the next 3 11s. And you want to pick up 5 11s. Skip the Super Duo and go through the next 3 11s. Continue on through the next Super Duo, 3 11s, Super Duo, and 3 11s. Pick up 5 11s. Skip the Super Duo and go through the next 3 11s. Continue on through the next Super Duo, 3 11s, Super Duo, and then 6 11s, so that you'll be coming at the tip down here. Alright, since this is my very first component, I'm going to go ahead and add the first part of my clasp. So I'm going to trim this little tail. I'm going to make this into a bracelet, so I'm using a toggle, and I've added a jump ring. You can add a split ring, whatever you want to do to it. But I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, let them drop all the way down. Pick up my clasp, let it fall, and then I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, and I'm going to come back through the same one that I'm coming out of to make my circle, so that when you pull, your clasp goes right in between your seed beads. You want to go ahead and reinforce a couple of good times, especially if you're going to use a heavy clasp or a heavy a heavy clasp, because you'll really want to reinforce it good so that it'll stay together and it won't come apart. Now, the reason I add that little jump ring there for my clasp is because sometimes this bracelet gets a little tricky, because 7 components will make about a 6 1/4 to 6 1/2 inch bracelet. But 8 components makes it a little big. So I use the jump ring so that if I have to change the clasp to get it to the exact length that I want it, I can do that and not have to tear the whole thing apart. Alright, got the clasp, the first part of the clasp attached. So now I'm going to stitch all the way down to come out of the seed bead here at the bottom. I like the heavier clasp on this, especially if it's a bracelet, because that way the clasp kind of stays down at the bottom of the bracelet so that it won't twist around on your arm. Because this is a very lightweight bracelet. Alright, so I'm to the point of the bracelet. This time, I'm going to pick up 3 11s, and I'm going to come back through the same bead I'm coming out of to make my circle. And I'm going to reinforce this little circle twice. And once you've gone through and reinforced your little circle there, you can tie off the thread with a couple of half hitch knots. And then I never cut next to a knot, so I'll stitch to a few beads, tie off the thread, cut the thread, I'm sorry. Alright, so first component is done. Now I'm going to start a second component. I'm doing a multicolored piece, so I'm just going to start my next component. You start it the same way, just like you normally would. Go ahead and pick up your 6 pieces here. Let them fall. Don't pull them all the way off like I just did. Let's try that again here. Okay, I'm going to let them fall. And I'm going to tie these beads into a circle. Push a couple of nice knots in there. Go back and reinforce. And if you hear my dog barking, my little weenie dog, I am very sorry. There are some deer out in our yard, and they come out the same time every day, and he just cannot stand it. So I hear him out there barking. So I've got my components started. I'm going to do the same thing just like I normally would. I'm going to go through. I'm going to pick up my 3 seed beads all the way around. And every component from here on out for this bracelet, necklace, anklet, whatever you plan on making is going to be exactly like this orange component that I'm making here. You're going to do it in the exact same fashion. Alright. So I'm exiting out here at the top. I'm going to go ahead and take my cutters and trim off that little tail to get it out of my way. And I'm going to pick up 5 seed beads. Skip your Super Duo and go through the next 3 seed beads. And it's going to make your little point there. And you just want to keep on going to stitch down to the bottom here so that we can connect this part to the actual bracelet. So you want to come out of the seed bead right before the Super Duo across from where we just made that point. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, and my thread is coming out towards the right. I'm going to lay my component down, and I'm going to go through that little tip seed bead there of my first component, and then I'm going to pick up 2 more seed beads, and I'm going to come down through I'm going to skip the Super Duo and go through the 3 seed beads after the Super Duo, so that now it connects them just like this. And the connection, you can go back and reinforce it again if you like. Completely up to you. If you're going to make an anklet out of it, I would definitely suggest doing that, because on our wrists and our neck, it's not going to get a whole lot of tug, but on your ankle, it's going to be constantly moving. So I would suggest going back, if this is going to be an anklet, I would definitely suggest reinforcing every connection a couple of times, so that way you'll have it very, very good and secure. And normally for the anklet, instead of using a toggle like I did here, I'll use a lobster claw and put an extender chain. So I'm coming out here on the end. I'm going to pick up 3 11s, and I'm going to come back through the one that I'm coming out of to make my circle. I'm going to reinforce that circle again about 2 or 3 times. And once it's reinforced, then you're ready to tie it off with a couple of half hitch knots. And you want to continue connecting components just like I connected the orange and the pink one until you have enough components to make whatever it is you want to do. When you add the last component, instead of adding your circle here, you're going to attach the other part of your clasp, just like I did here on the end of this one. Now for this anklet measures 9 inches. It has 2, 4, 6, 8. It has 10 components. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 10 components. And I've used a extender chain with a lobster claw. The bracelets have 7 components. So that kind of gives you an idea of how many you need. But just keep going until you get what you need and add your other end of the clasp. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video this week and learned how to make the components into the necklace, bracelet, anklet, whatever you wanted to do. Now we do have the 3 color kits on our website or on our Etsy page, as well as the pattern for this project that's for sale. And again, all our patterns now on Etsy are instant downloads, where when you purchase them, you get a link to download them right then, so you don't have to wait on getting your pattern. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, come back next week when I'm still on my Super Duo kick, and I'm going to show you how to make another pair of earrings using these Super Duos. So we'll talk to you guys later. Hope you have a fabulous week. Bye-bye.